Fat loss. It's one of the biggest problems in the world right now. I've been everywhere, man, and people are overeating and undermoving. It's contributing to a worldwide fat problem. A lot of people go to the gym, invest time and energy into achieving some weight loss, and they either achieve a little bit of fat loss or they achieve no fat loss. And most of the time, they don't keep it off for a long period of time. Here's what I've learned over the last 10 years of diving into the best fat loss practices when it comes to training, when it comes to food, and when it comes to, I guess, hundreds of success stories with my clients. Number one mistake that most people are making is you're not eating enough protein. You're starting your fat loss journey and you're not thinking about the breakdown of the nutrients on your plate. If you change your plate to be mostly protein, a high amount of protein, and then go for low to medium carbohydrates, and then go for 0 to low fats, it's going to be the best for your calorie deficit. The high amount of protein is going to help you with making sure that you have enough energy to still get your training done, enough energy to get through the day, to take care of your work commitments, family commitments, etc. Eating enough protein will help your body recover from training, and it will not just protect your muscle. In some cases, it'll help you build muscle while you're in a deficit. If you don't get in enough protein, you're more likely to be hungry throughout the day. That will lead to you overeating and overindulging in high calorie foods that you could have avoided if you had enough protein for your first meal of the day, enough protein for your second meal of the day. So what does that look like? If you enjoy having breakfast, you make sure that you get enough protein in with your brekkie. If you're the kind of person that likes skipping breakfast, that's okay as well. Your first meal might be around lunchtime. You make sure that you get enough protein then. So then you might ask me the question, Svet, what's enough protein? What does that actually look like? Well, if you wanted to be specific, you could go 2.2 times your total body weight, and that'll give you a gram amount per day that you ought to be targeting. My philosophy is I want you to aim for that and then beat it. I would rather you get too much protein in during the day than not enough protein. Now that you're eating more protein in your diet, you're going to be fuller for longer. So that means that you'll be able to continue your fat loss journey for a longer period of time. You won't stop after a month or two. You'll be able to focus on your fat loss journey for the next 12 months because it's going to be more fun. You won't be suffering as much as you will be if you don't eat enough protein. By increasing protein in your diet, you're also more likely to look better at the end of your fat loss journey. You see some people, they achieve a major amount of fat loss, but then they don't look that good at the end of the journey. The chances are they lost too much muscle in their fat loss journey, and then they end up looking withered away or aged at the end of their fat loss journey. Let's move on to the second biggest mistake I see with fat loss. No metrics. I want you to imagine trying to save for a mortgage, but never checking the bank account. You're not going to know whether you're up in money, same amount of money, or down in money and going backwards. Fat loss is the same. You need to have metrics in place that'll keep you accountable day to day, week to week, month to month, so that if you're not getting the desired fat loss, you can make changes and you can figure out what you need to do to get yourself back on track. Metrics that have worked for me and for a lot of my clients. Progress photos at the beginning of your fat loss journey. Just a quick mirror selfie in short shorts for a guy, or a crop top and short shorts, or a bikini for a girl. They go a long way, and I would encourage you to take progress photos every 3 to 4 weeks, and then on your phone make a physique album so that as you take the progress shots, you move them to the album, and then every couple of weeks you can check in with your progress photos, swipe across and see how your physique is changing. Relying on how you feel about your physique isn't always the best. We've all been in a situation where you've made lots of progress, but to yourself, you feel like you're getting nowhere, and it's only until a friend of yours or a family member that hasn't seen you for 2 or 3 months sees you for the first time, and they go, wow, you look so much better, you look completely different. And then the person goes, really? I feel the same. I didn't think I was making enough progress. That's because we see ourselves in the mirror all day, every day, right? So you don't actually detect the small changes. Even people that are around you all the time sometimes won't detect the physique changes. So progress photos go a long way when it comes to a metric on whether you're actually improving. Daily weigh-ins, having a quick spreadsheet where you can weigh in every morning, track your weight first thing in the morning, the time of your weigh-in, and then a weekly average down the bottom. You can then week to week track whether your weekly average is going up. That would be bad for fat loss. Staying the same, that's also not ideal for fat loss. Or if your weekly average is going down week to week, that's where you want to be in your fat loss journey. Daily weigh-ins can make a big difference. Another one is having a coach do some body fat pinches. Calipers in a gym with a coach is a good way to test your body fat. My coach, Jack, does it in less than 5 minutes. He does a 3-site. He pinches my chest, he pinches my tummy, and he pinches my quadricep. And from that and my body weight, he can figure out exactly what my current body fat percentage is. I like to do those body fat pinches every 3 to 4 weeks to keep me on track. If you don't have a coach that does body fat pinches, a couple of times per year, you can invest in what's called a DEXA body composition scan. Now, most towns, most suburbs will have an X-ray place that'll also offer body composition scanners. But if you do a Google search and you type in DEXA body composition and the name of your town, you will quickly have a list of places that'll do DEXA scans. A DEXA scan is a full report on exactly how much body fat you have and where. So how much body fat, it's much more in detail than the body calipers that I just mentioned. How much fat you have in your arms, how much fat you have in your tummy, legs. It'll also give you the visceral fat that's deposited around your organs, which is extra bit of information for you. You don't need to do a DEXA scan every 3 weeks, but you might want to do it 3 times per year, and that will keep you accountable for whether you're actually making fat loss progress or whether you're just treading water. If you do these DEXA scans, I would encourage you to, after the first one, book your second one and then do the same every time. So that way you have a deadline, you know when the next DEXA scan is coming, and that'll help keep you accountable. Now that you've got some metrics in play, you will quickly be able to detect if you're not making progress. And if that's the case, then you've got 3 options. You can either move more, add another training session, burn more calories essentially, or you can reduce the amount of calories that you're bringing in, so you can eat less. And eating less can be liquid calories, it can be food calories, it's all of your calories that you bring in a week. Or the third option, this is Svet's favorite, you can do a combo of doing a bit more movement and a little less food. This third option will turbocharge your fat loss. A lot of people are making a mistake with trying to lose too much fat too soon. They're putting themselves in an aggressive deficit because they've set up some silly target of, I need to lose as much weight as I can in the next 4 to 6 weeks. What ends up happening is their body is in too much of a calorie deficit. Yes, they lose weight, but at the same time, they lose a lot of hard-earned muscle mass. That hard-earned muscle mass is what gives us the good-looking physique at the end. And for a lot of these people, that's gone. They end up with a good amount of weight loss, but they look scrawny, they look withered away and aged at the end of their fat loss. And then when they look at themselves in the mirror or when they put on some nice clothes, they ultimately don't end up satisfied or happy with themselves or with their physique progress because they went too hard on the deficit and they lost too much muscle. The simple fix is give yourself enough time and have some metrics in place so that you know that your deficit is not too aggressive. That way, you're just burning the unwanted fat tissue, preserving, keeping, and gaining the good muscle tissue, and voila, all of a sudden, you are left with the best looking physique you've ever had. You've had a successful fat loss journey. Because you've given yourself more time, it was a bit more fun and easy, and now every kilo that's gone off your frame is gone forever. You don't have to worry about yo-yoing and losing 5 kilos only to gain 7. Fourth common mistake when it comes to fat loss, inconsistent eating. A lot of people will be disciplined with their food Monday to Thursday. By the time Friday rolls around, they've been trying to go so hard on being strict with the calories that they can't wait to get off the chain and get let loose on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's where the problem occurs with inconsistent eating. They've undone all of the good work that they've done Monday to Thursday by letting too loose with calories on the weekend. They will never achieve ideal fat loss and get a big transformation because they're simply going calorie deficit for 4 days of the week and then they're bombing their calories in a surplus the other 3 days of the week. I would rather you stay in a slighter calorie deficit, so you give yourself more time to achieve the good results, but you're consistently staying in a deficit 6 days a week or say 7 days a week. Of course, if you want to enjoy a cheat meal here or there, that's totally fine. 80-20 rule absolutely works, but you've got to be consistently eating in a calorie deficit to achieve good fat loss. Eating clean 4 days and then messing up 1 or 2 or 3 days of the week won't cut it. Here's a quick analogy for you. Joe Blow wants to be a millionaire, and 1 week he saves $1,000. Great, he's saved $1,000 in the bank account, but the following week he wastes $2,000, goes gambling or something. Do you think he's going to be a millionaire anytime soon? Of course not. And fat loss is exactly the same. Unless you're staying in a calorie deficit most of the week, most weeks in a month, most months in a year, you're probably never going to achieve true fat loss and that ideal transformation that you're looking for. Quick takeaways from today's video. Eat your protein. I want to see your plate with the bulk of the food being protein. Meat is good, legumes are good, protein powder is good. You can get creative with what kind of protein works for you. Number 2, I want you to have some metrics in play, some hard data that'll keep you accountable for whether you're actually trending in the right direction. That can be physique photos, it can be daily weigh-ins, it can be a DEXA scan, or it can be a coach caliper, but you can't just be going on feels. Number 3 is trying to lose too much fat too soon. That's the aggressive calorie approach. It doesn't work. People end up looking withered away and too drawn out and aged looking. Number 4 is inconsistent eating. You'll never achieve true fat loss if you stay disciplined Monday to Friday and then blow out on Saturday and Sunday. Guys, this is my first long format video. In the comments below, I want you to tell me what you thought of this. Did it help you? What's some fat loss tips and tricks that have worked for you in the past? Hey, what do you think of Ozempic? Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell, because we're going to be dropping some long format magic every week.